Hello everyone, this is Angie with Sisters on Board. Today we're going to be painting this cute interchangeable truck. And as you can see, I've already got an example of what I've done before. And I painted one side black, and then we're also going to paint the other side of our truck white. So you can kind of see here how it looks with when you do inserts for any holidays that you want to do. And these all come out, so they're interchangeable. So I've kind of gotten a little head start here. I'm starting to paint. I'm going to do all my base coating. Okay, so we're going to do the brake lights with Tuscan red. These are like the little mirror. They go up here. These are going to be gray. And these are like the tail lights. Those are going to be golden straw. These mirrors are actually, I used slate gray for these. Okay, and then the truck is going to be black. The other side is going to be white. And these pieces, these are so you know how to add this piece on, is to lift it up so you can slide your piece in. So that's going to be the same color as the truck for each side. This side, it'll be white for the white side, and then this one will be black. Okay, and then we're also going to paint our bumpers with the slate gray. And then our base pieces, while we're at it, we'll be gluing these together. We're going to paint one side black to match this side of the truck, and then we'll flip it over and paint the other side white to match the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and do all my base coating, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. And then at that point, you could pause and get caught up to where I am on the base coating. So I wanted to just pop back on here real quick and just go over real quick how to do the base coating with the sponge. So I load up a little bit of paint on my sponge, and I should have put the paint over here so I don't, I'm not crossing myself, but oh well, too late for that. So you just dab. So you're going to load up. You don't want too much paint on your sponge, just enough to just go over it. Okay. So you're just going to dab and get it all covered. And it's okay if we cover these lines. When you paint yours, you'll be able to see, it's hard to tell on here, but I can see where those lines are. And they're just there for guidelines to show you where you're going to put your painted pieces on top of here. Now the thing with, so the original file for this was just a one-sided truck. But a lot of people that do these trucks figured out that you could just make extra pieces of this that you're going to glue on here and just flip it over and do the other side. Now, when we cut things out on the laser, it's very difficult to flip it over and get those engraved lines to match up perfectly. So when you do this side, you're going to come over here, and you're going to know that your bumper is going to go here. And then you can kind of eyeball where your other pieces are going to go. And like the mirrors, you can kind of see it's just going to go in the middle of this piece. So, and I will, when we get to that point, I will walk you through it, but it's not that difficult, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I just wanted to go over with the base coating and, you know, using the sponges for each, use a new sponge for each color of these taped pieces that we're going to be doing. And we're just going to keep base coating, and you can just do the whole thing. Okay, we're just going to paint all this. So now I will pause it and just give me a minute. I will come back on here and show you what I've done, and then you can get caught up to where I am. Okay, so I have pretty much base coated everything. I just want to go over what I've done. So I did this all black, and I got a little white here. I need to touch that up real quick. Let me do that while we're going over the rest of this. Good as new. So I did my red for the brake lights. I did my mirrors in gray, and I did my tail lights in the yellow. And then I base coated these two pieces. and I did the base on the black, and then I did the white also. Okay, and then let me show you, oh, and then I did the bumpers. Just base coated those gray. And then these little tailgate things I did in the burnt umber. And then I want to show you real quick what I did on the other side. So I just did white, and I only did it up to where this bumper is going to go, and then I painted my tires black because this piece is going to go over like that, so it's not going to show. Okay, and I didn't do this part up here because I just did one coat on there, but this piece is going to go over it, so it'll look fine in the final product. All right, so now we're going to start doing the fun shading and detailing and doing all the things to really make this thing come to life. So I'm going to grab my paper towels here and we'll do some shading. Now, if you're not comfortable with shading, a lot of people aren't, you could totally just stop here and glue all your parts on and maybe do some flecking, some like sprinkling at the end, and I can show you that, and it'll look really cute. But we're going to take it a step further and do some shading. So I'm going to get my brushes out, and I will show you what I did on my sample that I did a long time ago. So I just went in with some white just around the edges. So I'm going to go around these edges, on the inside of the window, and just down here and along the tires. Let me show you down here. So that's what we're going to do first. So we're going to do some shading, or in this case, I guess it would look more like highlighting. So just a real quick little tutorial for shading. So I get water on my brush. Actually, I have some float on my brush. Every time I start one of these videos, I tell myself I'm going to have it. So it's from Winsor & Newton, and it's like a flow medium that I use. But you could absolutely use water too. So I got my white paint here. So I'm going to dip this part of my brush into the paint like this. See that? And I'm just going to kind of blend the whole brush, not just the side. A lot of people think floating and shading, you have to just do this, like they go like this, and you want the whole brush on your surface. And I'm going to get it wet again. So I'm going to start up here at the top of this truck. And also, there is no rule that says you have that you can't move your piece around. I'm always moving this around. So I'm going to start from where this mirror is and just come around. So I'm just going to kind of, and it looks uneven, but I'm going to come back in, get my brush wet, and just kind of smooth this out. Keep getting my brush wet. I'm trying out some new brushes that I got, so I'm seeing how I like them. So far, pretty good. I'm gonna keep coming around. Just gonna keep going over it just to soften those edges a little bit. going to come around here, start to go around the mirror. And this is the part where, like, I can come around to here. I'm going to let that dry before I go around these edges. Otherwise, you're getting into the paint that you've already put down. So I'm going to come over here. I'm kind of getting into the wet paint here, so I'm going to come back around. So, but you get the idea. So I'm going to go all the way around the truck, and I'm going to come in around here. So I'm going to go back and do that, and then show you what I did. And I'm also going to go around all the edges on this guy. That totally blends in. You can't even see that. And then on the base. So I'm going to do that real quick and then come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I just want to show you what I've done so far. I've done all around on the black side of the truck, and I did the base. And I did the tires. I didn't do the bottom of the tires because they're going to go inside of the base, so you're not going to see those anyway. So now I want to focus on this side. I'm going to cover that with some more black, but I'm going to go around this with some burnt umber, the burnt umber paint. So I'm going to shade around that. Same thing that I did on the other side, but with the brown, with the burnt umber. So I will come back and show you what I did, and I'm going to touch this guy up here, and then I'm going to shade with white along both sides of the tire. And don't forget about this piece and your base piece as well. So let's come back and I'll show you what I did on that, and then you can see what the finished look is, and then you can get caught up to where I am at that point. So I just wanted to pop on here while I'm doing this, just kind of talk a little bit. Like, so I do like to use these angled shaders, and it doesn't matter the size. This is a 1/2 inch. I like to use this size too. This one is 3/8 inch. So you can just use whatever size that you're comfortable with. And just like I said, just going around all these edges, just doing a little shading with some burnt umber. Just thought I'd come on here and show a little bit of my process. So come over here. And at this point, today when I'm making this video, I haven't done a technique video yet for shading on how I do it. Everybody does it differently. You just need to find the technique that works for you. And there's a ton of resources out there on YouTube. You can find a lot of good videos on how to do it. You can take some classes. There's painting conventions all over the country that are going on. Like, you can do a national, or you can maybe find a local chapter of decorative artists that can teach you how to do this. I kind of learned years ago. I had a neighbor that I learned from, and then just kind of picked it up later, like 20 years later, and then here I am, still trying to perfect it. I'm not perfect at it, but it is kind of fun to see my progress from a couple years ago to where I am today. So I'm definitely moving in the right direction, but Still have a long way to go, I feel. But I feel like I can make my projects look pretty good. I'm happy with it. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going around. I will say, like when I first started, when I picked this up again after 20 years, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. You want it to look like somebody that's been doing it for 20 years, and yours isn't going to look like that. And that's okay. Part of it is just a process of learning and stretching your brain, doing new things. Okay, so I got the top half done. I did this side. I'm going to go ahead and finish this side over here and the inside of the window. But I just wanted to just pop on and just show, how I'm doing this in real time. And I still have to do this one and the base. So I'm going to come back and we'll catch up with that. Okay, so I want to show you what I've done so far. I went ahead and shaded my bumpers all around the edges with the black. And I did my base. And that's going to go here. I did that. So the trucks are pretty much done. And then, so I'm working on right now, and I just wanted to show you what I'm doing for these pieces. I'm going to do like a black highlight, and I already did these and I did those. And so I'm going to go in with black on one side, and then I'm just going to do white highlight on the other, just to give it some depth and some contrast. So just going to do these real quick. We'll do these together. And then the next phase, next step on this project is going to be, I think we're pretty much done. I think we're ready to start gluing. I'll take a look at everything that I've got done. Okay, so now I'm going to clean my brush and, like I said, do a white highlight on the other side. I'm going to flip it over. So yes, we need to start gluing everything, and then we'll do some final, maybe some, I don't know, some detail work. I'll take a look at it and see what I want to add any lines or embellishing. I may not, because, and I'll show you in a second, like a lot of the inserts that we put on the trucks are going to have a lot of line work and embellishing. So maybe we just keep the truck itself kind of simple. Okay, now we'll do these, and then, so I'm just doing some highlight on the side of the mirrors, tail lights, and the brake lights. Okay. So now we are ready to start gluing this together and start pulling it all together. So I think, let me think about this for a second. Yeah, before I start gluing all these little pieces together, gluing the lights and the bumpers and everything on, I think I want to do some, I'm not sure what the term is, some flecking. In some of the classes that I teach, they call it sprinkling. So I want to do some like spatter, maybe that's the word, spatter on here. And I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do this burnt umber just to kind of tie this together. And I'm going to flip it over and do white spatter on the black side. So I'm going to try not to get any on my tires over here, but I'm just going to come in with the spatter here. You can go as, if you decide to do this step, you don't have to. This is optional. When I teach classes, most people like this, but some people are like, no, I'm good. I don't want the spatter, especially when I do white. Okay, see, I like that. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to clean my brush and wait for this to dry and do the other side. But while we're waiting for this to dry, we can, even though it's still a little wet, we can start gluing on some of our pieces. So I'm just going to get my glue out. This is just art glitter glue. Sometimes I use the Star Bond Thick. This is like a super glue. But either one, or whatever, wood glue, whatever you have around the house. So I'm just going to start dotting the glue on. You don't have to cover every square inch of it. Just that's good. So you want to line it up. And try not to get paint on your fingers. So line it up. So I always feel my edges, so you can feel along here and along the bottom here. And you can see that that's lined up pretty good. Okay. And this is the side that doesn't have the lines, so we're going to kind of eyeball where these pieces go. But I do know that this piece goes here. So I'm going to go ahead. Probably should have spattered that too, but that's okay because it's going to be covered. Actually, I do think I want to spatter this piece too, so I'm going to get some more burnt umber on my brush. So I'll go ahead and spatter this. There we go. Set that to the side to dry. Okay, so this looks good. Then we're going to take one of these tailgates, and I like to take another piece like from your project and stick behind here, because when you do an insert, let me just grab this one for instance. When you have an insert that you want to put in here, you want to make sure you don't glue it so that it's like tilted, and then you won't be able to get your insert in. So like, let me show you. So actually I'll just use the insert. So you just want it to go about like this. But with that insert in there, then I know it'll slide in and out. So let me go ahead and put some glue on here and I'll show you what I mean. And also when I glue this on, I'm not going to put glue along this top of this rail, just like along the bottom. Okay, so I'll show you. So I'm just going to glue along the bottom. So this bottom part of the glue is going to go on this whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. So we'll let that dry. But see now, because I have this piece in here, you'll see that that just slides in and out. So it fits pretty good in there. So I'm going to leave that alone for a second, let that dry. And we'll take our mirrors, just pop those on, just eyeball it, kind of center it in the middle of the part where it goes. And it's up to you. You can keep the shading. You can put the dark towards the middle where I shaded towards the inside of the truck and the highlight on the outside. I think that looks pretty good. And then the same with our brake lights and tail lights. So I'll show you on this side. So it's just like a little bit above the bumper, okay, but kind of like towards this edge. Kind of in line, let me see, like see where this curve of this bumper is? Keep it over there and keep it on that side. That way you have plenty of room for your insert here. Down the line, whatever insert you have to put in there. So I'm going to stay on this curved part of the bumper. So I'm just going to put this here. And I'm keeping the shaded side to the inside of the truck and the highlight pointing on the outside of the truck. And now we'll come over here and just try to make sure they're even here and here. Okay. So we'll come back in a minute and we'll put the Velcro. I want to let this all dry. I want to flip it over and do the black side. But so what we're going to do though, I'll just quickly go over it, is we'll be gluing down 3 pieces of Velcro down. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then we'll put a piece of Velcro here. I started out doing magnets for that portion, but magnets have the polarity, and sometimes you might want to put the insert on the white side, and then next time you want to put it on maybe on the black side. Well, because of the polarity of the magnets, it might reject it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel like moving forward, I'm going to do Velcro from now on, because then we don't have to worry about that polarity of the magnets messing with us. All right, so I'm going to do my spatter first. And before I forget, I'm going to do these 2 pieces too. I'm knocking over my paint here. And I always check off to the side, make sure it's not too wet or not enough paint. And this is one of those things too, like the shading, it's just, you get a feel. There's just no way to kind of explain it. You just have to practice and you get a feel for how much water to have loaded in your brush. Go ahead and do my tires and do my base here. You know, sometimes people don't like it. They think, oh, it looks like snow. And, you know, if you want to do a Valentine's insert in here, it doesn't look right, but I like it. So to each his own, right? So, okay, now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing our pieces on like we did on the other side. So just dab in some glue. Okay, and glue this on. Taking all my pieces off the tape. This tape, I'll tell you, it's really sticky to work with, but that's a good thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and, so on this side, luckily I can see where my circles are, so I know exactly, I don't have to guess on it. Turn this around. And the nice thing about spattering is if you did make any mistakes or your shading isn't perfect, you're not completely happy with it, it covers a lot of mistakes. So maybe that's why I like it so much. So, okay, so I'm gonna again use my piece. It doesn't have to be, if you don't have a finished insert from before, like I said, you could just use well, like your bumper or just another piece of your project to stick in there like this, even off to the side like that. It'll just tell me, you know, like if I'm gluing this on correctly and not tilted or anything. Again, just the bottom, and then just stick it on and center it. Okay, so there's that. And I can see a little bit of the glue here, but it does dry clear. So now we're going to start doing the Velcro. And then I think we'll pretty much be done. Just want to take a quick picture of this. So that I can post this on social media. I'm trying to take pictures as I go along in my video. So, I mean, this is looking pretty good. And then we're going to take our base and I'm just going to glue these together. And this, you do need to kind of line up, make sure your slots, there's a right way and a wrong way. So my slots are lining up. I don't know if you can see that, but so this looks good. Okay, so now Velcro. Let me double check my notes real quick, see which one, if it's the loopy side or the, okay, so when you buy your inserts, like this part will always be the non-fuzzy side. You know how Velcro has the fuzzy side and then the loop side, right? I don't know if that's the correct term, but so your truck insert, your truck will always have the fuzzy side, okay? And I think this has, it does have a sticky back on it, but I'm going to reinforce that with some glue. So we're going to put 3 on here. So we can just put like 1 in the middle and then 2 on each side. And I'm doing the loop side and not the fuzzy side. Okay, so that's going to go on there. So I'm not going to show doing the other side, but you get the idea. So you're going to, and your kit will include, if you buy the kit to do both sides, it'll come with the Velcro to do both sides. Okay, and then we're going to put one down here for your little license plate. So when you go to do your inserts, so for instance, for if you had this guy, so what you would do is put the Velcro that comes with your kit for the insert, put them on top of here, put your glue on, and then put this on and let it dry. And then you'll be able to pull it off, and same for the, but that I'll explain that too in all the insert kits that we do. But so that's pretty much, we're done. The mirrors are a little crooked. So like, I just want to show on this side, for instance, like, so like the white, you can do like a cute Valentine insert. And the white is good for like maybe St. Patrick's Day. So like this just slides in there. This is cute on a red truck too. And I don't know, hold on 2 seconds. Let me go grab my red truck. Okay. So this will be another kit that I can offer. I'm going to do a video on this too, but so like here's the red side. And so like Christmas obviously looks cute on the red. And this goes on here and here. And then for fall and just, I don't know, I thought this was pretty, and I would like to do, I haven't done it yet, but I would like to do a truck in pink too, because I think there's a lot of cute pink inserts for Christmas, but I did this one in this like shiny turquoise, and this looks good with some fall like pumpkin inserts and things like that. Maybe some Easter, depending on what you have. So that's a cute color combination to do too. So yeah, so this is pretty much it. Like I said, I feel like the white and the black is a good combination. So what you would do is if you're displaying the white side of your truck, you would use the white side of your base. And then when you're doing, if you're displaying the black side, then you flip your base over and insert the wheels into the black base. So that's pretty much it for the interchangeable truck. And we will be offering a lot of inserts to go with this. And we also have a camper that we have that all these same inserts go for the camper. So I hope that you enjoyed this project. I know I love this project. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and let us know if you have any questions, and we'd love to see your projects on our TikTok and Facebook page. So we would love it if you would share it with us. Thank you.